So there's been yet another piece of superhero media that's been making rounds on Discord. It's a passion project that follows the son of a famous and beloved superhero, down on his luck, hoping to turn a group of misfits into heroes fit for and beloved by society. Hold on, I'm showing the wrong footage again. There you go. This cel-shaded game is Dispatch, a game developed by Ad Hoc Studios, made up of some ex-Telltale employees who worked on the Walking Dead series and the GOAT that is The Wolf Among Us. At first, I did give this game attention because it wasn't my cup of tea. But after finding out this was the game that caused The Wolf Among Us 2's delay and becoming the first real return of Telltale, I took a gander. And after finishing the game, this is gonna be a hard one for me, guys. I can feel it in my toes. It's been a while since I've done a long form review, and I promised the public I will be coming back like the parasite I am. So why not come back in style by talking about my thoughts on this viral game? I'm gonna be talking about my personal experiences with Dispatch, what I like about it, and what I don't really gel with. Take everything with a grain of salt though. This isn't a de facto opinion that fits all. This is just my opinion. If you love this game, more power to you. If you hate this game, that's understandable too. I just want to try and add my own 2 pieces on this passion project from individuals that I was once passionate about. So let's not waste any time and hop headfirst into my brutally honest review of Dispatch. When it comes to Dispatch, there are 3 cons, what I will call, for dramatic flair, cardinal sins that hold back the game from being amazing to me. But I'm not negative Nancy, because there is a single pro, the saving grace from this game, that kept me playing from start to finish. So hear me out. If there was an obvious flaw to this game for me that makes it hard to fully enjoy it, it had to be the gameplay. Dispatch is a decision-making game on the same caliber as the Walking Dead series and any game made by Quantum Physics. But on the dark side of the moon is another element. The RPG gameplay. That's right. At its core, this is an episodic RPG game. And for an RPG, the concept is nice, it's just the execution is ass. Because of the overall lack of gameplay in my opinion, I decided to put the game on interactive mode. It's a mode that adds action-timed events in other Telltale games like The Wolf Among Us and the Batman series. The only difference? It's present in literally 3 episodes, which are the first episode, the 5th episode, and the last episode. This makes this mode feel pointless because it is pointless. Why have a mode promising more action when it doesn't? That's false advertising. There's also the hacking sessions where the main character, Robert Robertson, yeah, that's his real name, and yes, he acts just as he sounds. He will be asked to hack into systems to help members and even complete jobs of his own. Picture BQ, but instead of getting rid of all the blocks, you have to hit all the checkpoints to finish the level. It's harmless, sometimes even pleasantly challenging, but well executed and kind of fun. Too bad this is the only well-executed section of gameplay. In every episode, you will have at least one shift as a dispatcher, where you send Z-Team, your group full of ready-to-reform villains, to do some hero work. You can choose at least one character from your crew to finish a job assisting someone, or you can on occasion send up to 4 on one job. Your success rate on the mission is based on the members' attributes in combat, intellect, vigor, charisma, and mobility. The higher the stats are, the more successful you'll be. But be careful. You can't send anyone out there all willy-nilly. You gotta pick up on keywords in your scenario and send the best character for the job. Sometimes you will also have to pick suggestions whenever there's a disruption to assist your Z-Team members, which can result in automatic success or failure. To add, when you enter the second half of the game, you'll become acquainted with a lovely red X of death. Cross it, and it's automatic failure. So think more in the mindset of you're playing a short-term D&D campaign with your dash of Quiz and Dragons sprinkled in. Which is ironic because Critical Role did help in developing this game. Sounds fun, right? I even thought so too. But after playing it over and over again for every single episode, yeah, I started to become tired of it. Full disclosure, I'm not some kind of know-it-all full of endless intellect like Jimmy Neutron. All that to say, I found myself failing a lot of these missions, always ending up in the 60% to even 30% success rate at the end of my shifts. So I genuinely don't know if this is because I suck or because the game has a huge learning curve. On my first shift, I sent only one hero on every mission and usually failed on the spot. To add, when I got Disruption, some choices were locked out for an automatic success because a certain member wasn't sent on the mission. So if you guys are succeeding in these shifts, you are a god. I don't know how you do it, but you have my utmost respect, and I would love to learn from you shift gurus. And to the ones who find themselves struggling as much as I do, the least I can do is give you my 2 senses. Whenever you can, do not hesitate to send in 2 members. Double the manpower, double the chances of your success. And if you need to miss a mission, don't feel bad. Rather have a missed mission than a failed one. Try to balance out your characters when they level up so chances of failing are lessened. And personal bias here, but whenever you can send Sonar, Prism, or Golem, please, for the love of God, please do. From the sounds of it, this game can be difficult. But guess what, my melodramatic friend? How would you feel if I told you none of this matters? Now, I don't mean the whole game just doesn't matter, but more you don't matter.
You talking to me?
Yes, bitch, I'm talking about you. Stop looking around like that. Dispatch is the kind of game that advocates all of your choices matter. But just like most decision-based games post-Walking Dead, that's bullshit. There isn't really a heavy sense of stakes or pondering of differences in choices to explore in this game, which does make the key element of it being a choose-your-own-adventure begin to crumble. So, about those shifts, yeah, I wasn't being dramatic. You can fail them and still keep your job. As a matter of fact, the game doesn't even fault you for this. It just runs normally into the next scenes like nothing happened. No game over. This also translates into quick time events. You can fail every button input and the game will act like you're a natural. Seriously, what was the point of this mode? The only issue is if you fail missions, you'll miss out on leveling up your character. But trust me when I say you still don't have to rely on this. Why? Because at the end of some shifts, you'll either get a stat roulette that allows you to level up a ZT member's attributes, or even a recovery item to use on injured or fallen members during your next shift. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Though if you're an optimistic, I guess you could say it's a helping hand. Unfortunately, story choices can't be forgiven or viewed in the same way for me. So spoilers ahead from here, don't say I didn't warn you. But in episode 4, you have to decide if you want to recruit Phenomenon, a successful and popular hero down in the dumps because he got dumped, or Waterboy, a sweet soul born to be a hero, forced to be a janitor. I chose Waterboy because honestly, I romance Blonde Blazer and it would be sick to add Phenomenon to the team knowing I'm clapping his ex's cheeks. Which in hindsight might have been a bad idea. Waterboy's entertaining, but he's also the weakest character in your roster and you'd be lucky to level him up if you pair him with another member of Z-Team. It makes me feel regretful for not having Phenomenon, right? Wrong! It doesn't matter who you choose because you'll be able to dispatch both of them in the final episode. So it sort of voids the choice as pointless, especially since in the story, their changes to the plot have little to no significance in my opinion. You can find many similar moments, such as in episode 3, when you have to fire Coupe or Sonar. Both choices aren't life alternating, you're just choosing which member you like the most while the latter becomes a villain you have to face in the last episode. But even then, the impact isn't spectacular, because if you play your cards right, the person you fire can come back to the team and be redeemed. It just gives a false air of creative liberty in my eyes as a player who was promised their choices matter, and those characters remembering what I did means something. I'll just say it now, unless you're a Visigal or Robert, your choices don't mean jack shit. No matter what you do, you'll always find yourself with your whole team ready to fight Shroud. Not even Blonde Blazer is heavily impacted by your choices. Fuck, I'm gonna have to talk about the romance routes, am I? Okay, if you're a hardcore Invisigal lover or Blonde Blazer fanatic, I'd click off this video right now if I were you, because I'm probably gonna hurt your feelings. I don't mean to, but yeah, I gotta get this off my chest.
Here comes a new challenger.
Throughout the game, you can pursue a romance between 2 women. Your first choice and encounter is in Blonde Blazer, a bombshell who means well and possesses the power to harness light. And your second choice is Invisigal, a reforming villain who probably would have been reformed by now if it wasn't for her witty little attitude. She has the power to turn invisible whenever she holds her breath, and she smokes. Either she's counterproductive or
She don't love herself.
she's not all bad though. She's got a sharp sense of humor, and there's times where she just ends up looking like a wet puppy. It's up to you to choose if you want to pursue a relationship with the 99-cent store Starlight, motivated by questionable reasons, or the I can fix her straight vibe. I'll be honest, upon my first interactions, I didn't want to get with either of them. Blonde Blazer was still dating Phenomenon while making googly eyes at me, and me and my brother agreed that this screamed dot energy. But on the other hand, Invisigal's just too much for me. Maybe it's because her sex jokes started to become as annoying as Stolas' advances on Blitz, or maybe it was because she was low-key reminding me of my ex-girlfriend. I'm sorry, too soon. Because of this and already knowing the kind of guy Robert is, I just found it hard to pick between these two lovely ladies. They each have their pros, but they also have big cons that make me want to keep Robert single. Not to mention, even if they were well-rounded people, I wouldn't ship them with Robert. This guy is kind of a cuck in the first 4 episodes. I can't stand this puta. Unfortunately, this isn't like other decision-based games where you don't have to choose between them. Nope. In this game, you are forced to make a decision. That's right. If you don't choose a choice when the timer underneath your dialogue runs out, the game just chooses for you. What a fucking ripoff! You're telling me I have to get in a relationship? That I have to choose things when 9 times out of 10 I don't even like my choices? The fuck happened to silence as a virtue? You have to make your mind up before episode 4's lock-in choice. The choice being, after a good shift of dispatching, not for me, I failed again, you have to choose between spending a night in the movies with Invisigal or having a dinner at SDN with Blonde Blazer. Based on what I've told you, what do you think I've decided? Drumroll, please. I chose not a goddamn thing. I let the game decide for me, and it gave me discount Starlight. So I went on my dinner with Starlight and ended up getting acquainted with Mandy, who is just as beautiful as any Disney princess I've laid eyes on. We shared a kiss and we ended up dating. The whole Phenomenon thing, after reading her comic, I understand why she dropped him, even if my heart goes out to the guy. So I locked myself in with this sweet, sometimes stupid woman who made me gradually go from screaming she's a thought to that's my wife. And from that episode all the way to the last, we had a great relationship. Is what I would say if it wasn't for one big problem. Invisigal. Or more so, the writing of forced romance. Let's get this out of the way before all you guys go into the comments and start blowing my ass up. I'm not an Invisigal hater. I couldn't stand her in the first half of the series because I personally don't like Sundays, and she gave off that vibe, so it was a turnoff for me. But as the series continued, I started to develop sympathy for her. Don't get me wrong, the scoldings she gets are deserved. But I realized that she was someone who had good intentions and just had a shitty way of going by it. Because of this, I held her down when the Z team wanted to get rid of her. And I had her back against Shroud. Ironically, my relationship with her is like Vi from Arcane. When I can't stand her, I really can't stand her. But when I like her, I care for her like family, if not like a person. All that to say, I don't like how her story played out in the game. Let me pose a question for those who know what happens in the game. Outside of the dinner date with Blonde Blazer, what else happens between Robert and Blonde Blazer in the game? A sex scene? B, she gets the astral pulse for you. C, the two of you share a kiss in the locker room. Or D, she takes a bullet for you. This is a trick question. None of this happens. All of that only happens with Invisigal. If you romance Blonde Blazer, the most you get is a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And her threatening to nuke a whole bar for me. That turned me on, but that's it. If you're looking for a lot of great romance or development, unfortunately, you're gonna have to romance Invisigal. Because romancing Blonde Blazer feels like getting with a last-minute addition. I love her, but our lovable dollar store Starlight doesn't really have anything to work with. Throughout most of the game, Robert finds himself interacting more with Invisigal. If you don't pursue her, she'll show signs of jealousy when you're with Blonde Blazer, peeking some bombastic side-eye, and even expressing her jealousy before kissing you. Real homewrecker shit. For some, it may feel like drama to spice up the game, but for me, it felt like the game was trying to force me to get with her. Especially since when she does kiss Robert, I do have the option to kiss her back. If you don't know, I do not like when a game, especially if it has dating sim elements to it, tells me that I should make a certain choice or pushes me to make a choice I don't want to. It's the reason why I dropped the PS5 game Sakura Wars. A nice dating sim that deliberately tried to get me with Sakura when I am fucking trying to get with the hot-headed queen, Hatsuo. So you can imagine my disdain when I started to see Blood Blazer less and Invisiga more. Why add two romantic routes when one is fleshed out and the other is butchered to high hell? It sort of reminds me of the Will situation in regards to Baldur's Gate 3. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out this fantastic video by Beam Boy. He does this story more justice than I ever could. But long story short, if the game was going to be pro Invisiga, why add Blood Blazer to begin with as a love interest? Because if that's the case, they could have cut her out and have you only romance Invisiga. But even dead, respectfully, I wouldn't, because one, I personally believe in the bisexual Robert agenda. I think Phenomenon, Flambe, and Waterboy would be amazing boyfriends for our bitch-ass dispatcher. And two, to me, the chemistry between Invisigal and Robert comes off weird at times, especially in episode 4. But it could also be me just not being used to flirting like that. I'm getting off track here. At the end of the day, it's not cool to make, manipulate, and push another romantic route onto someone when they don't even want to pursue it. That's taking more of my ability away as someone who is making choices that matter. Also, side note, why did they just make Malevola the second romance instead? She clearly wants me. I'm pretty sure so far you think I hate this game or don't like it at all. The gameplay is clunky, the decisions don't have long-lasting consequences, and the romance is ass. But there's a saving grace. One that made me want to see how the story ends. Luckily, this element is with you from start to finish. Dispatch is a game filled with heroes, reforming villains, and straight-up villains. And as much as I don't like how some of these characters don't really pay off at the end of the game, I have to admit wholeheartedly that these characters are amazing. Outside of my love-hate relationship with Invisigal and Robert, I found myself falling in love with every member of the Z team. And though the comics can easily be disregarded, I also enjoy them for giving me more insight into these characters. I love how Sonar and Malevola are roommates who help each other try to recover from their bad habits. I love that Punch Up and Coupe have a weird romantic relationship in past, clearly still caring for each other through thick and thin. And I love how even during shifts, you can see how the team bounces off each other, encouraging one another and sometimes even butting heads in moments akin to rivalry. It makes me want to spend more time with these guys and to get to know them better. The more you work with the Z team, the less it feels like just a group of co-workers trying to get their shit together, and more a dysfunctional family. It's what makes the bar fight, the housewarming party, and the final scene of the game so nice to experience. These character bonding moments for me are where Dispatch shines the most. Not when you're doing your shifts or choosing which boobs you want to motorboat, but when you are just having a crazy fun time with some villains who show they are just as human as anyone else. And yes, the actors and actresses did really well. Voice Critical as Sonar, Jacksepticeye as Punch Up, Dot Squad as Prism, Young Gravy as Golem, and Alana Pierce as Malevola really shined here. But that's just icing on the cake. The chemistry with others is where the characters really show their best attributes. We can all agree to disagree on the characters being some of the best in the decision-based game, but I'm sure one thing's for sure. Beef is best boy. As a concept, Dispatch is pretty good, even if it's already swimming in an overly crowded pool of realistic, if not grounded, superhero media. It has a solid plot, good characters with some pretty good character development, even if it isn't found in the main character. That being said, as a game, it's not the best. The gameplay is sorely lacking, sometimes not even present. And when it is, you don't really have to do anything because the game will continue normally if you don't. That's why, in my opinion, I think this would have been more cherished by me if it wasn't a game at all. This would have worked better as a TV show or even a movie. I mean, I know a lot of my friends said they watched the game via playthroughs and enjoyed it better that way. They said it's nice to watch, but pretty sure it's not that fun to play, and they're right. This was held back due to being an interactive medium. I wish I could say if there was a season 2, yes, there will be a season 2, this thing sold 1 million units, it's happening, that it would be a show or a movie, but that's like making a shot in the dark. Regardless of how or when or if season 2 comes out, I'll probably just join my friends on the watch wagon, supporting the official release through streams. For now, at the end of the day, I can't say that I thought Dispatch was a good way of bringing the Telltale folks happily back into the fire of the gaming industry. I like Dispatch, but I can't love it, even if I want to. And that's okay, because another man's hand-me-downs is always another man's treasure. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and a comment. And if you enjoyed this along with the other videos I've released, consider subscribing to the channel. Next time we meet, I'll be talking about my personal top 10 favorite movies of this year to close out 2025. Until then though, I hope you all stay safe, stay hydrated, and have a good day. I love you all. If there's not a real sex scene in season 2, I'm doing a cartwheel kickstand on my PC setup.
And all of us getting shut down!